give us a practical way that you have added value to a deal that you did that some investor that's watching this or that's here can replicate, and let's say in different markets.
Adding value by increasing the rental value, which increases the overall value of the property. So something that I do that Cam actually was one of my mentors on this is I'll buy 4 units that have 1 bedrooms and they're renting for, let's say, hypothetically $1,000 per unit. Then I add value by turning those 1 bedrooms into 3 bedrooms, and then now you have a property that rents for $3,000, and that's a way to increase the overall value. So that's one way. Adding, bedrooms, adding parking spaces is another additional income. Qualitatively, you could renovate a kitchen or a bathroom, but I think numbers-wise, bedrooms, parking is one of the best ways or the most lucrative ways.
Yeah, because I was just to follow up on that. I was gonna say all renovations aren't created equal, right? So, what are some renovations that you, from your experience, you think is not necessarily worth it if you're trying to increase the value and potentially sell that asset?
Good question. Good question. I think some people kind of get picky over a lot of cosmetic or aesthetic things, which as a buyer, you'll walk in a property and qualitatively you're like, this is so beautiful. But at the end of the day, is it, are changing the floors really adding value, or is painting that room blue really adding value? And so you really just want to focus on things that actually add value. To some buyer, changing the color of the property or, I don't know, the floors could add value, but to like a consensus of people, adding the number of bedrooms or adding parking really does change the value of the property based on the value of rental income you can receive.
And Cam, with commercial units, what are some ways you've seen some of your clients add value that if someone out here who is an investor or a new investor could consider doing and replicating in different markets?
So I think Taylor hit on the adding the bedroom, which, in DC you have a lot of these older apartment buildings. So in the older, back then they were building them out and they have living rooms and dining rooms. And so it's basically opening up that space and combining the living room, dining room, and then adding a bedroom. But I think this is actually probably a better question for Chris because DC is just such a nuanced market with rent control and TOPA and all sorts of things to consider. But Chris is, he's doing the value add in a market like Baltimore that doesn't have those same type of stipulations. So I'm going to pass it to him.
Chris, is on you.
Yeah, so one big thing, the cosmetic stuff can be good, depends on how bad, it originally starts out, but the cosmetic stuff can really make a difference. Washer and dryer has been another big one. If you have an older apartment, a lot of times it'll come a washer and dryer. As Cam said, DC is a little bit difficult to navigate it, so we buy stuff in DC as well. It's pretty difficult to navigate there. There's a lot of laws against it. But Cam's most genius thing, please don't sleep on that bedroom thing. I mean, I will walk a building with Cam, and Cam will be like, it'll be a 1-bedroom. Cam be like, this is 3 bedrooms right here. I'm like, dude, it's not, man. Like, people can't live in a shoebox. He's like, nah, this is 3. Like, trust me. So that's actually a genius move, and it changes the economics of a deal big time.
And I'd also add that bathrooms and kitchens are good money makers too. So, updating the kitchen and also updating the bathrooms, people want to, those are things that pop when people walk into the unit.